Okay, welcome. We are going to start in about 5 minutes. Just wanna make sure that the stream is working fine. Before I actually start, need to check the audio. Just to make sure everything is good. Let me check quickly. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Sorry, I need another headphone. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, just trying to check the audio here on my phone. Yeah, everything sounds good, and yeah, we should be ready to go in about 2 minutes. Great. Okay, today is not gonna be the longest stream. I'm probably gonna be here for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on the how everything goes. But today basically we're finally gonna get to the point where we get the component working on Apple devices. Let me increase the text size here. So basically at the moment we have a problem, which is that our component doesn't actually do what it's supposed to do on Apple browsers. So the desktop Safari or the mobile versions of the macOS and iOS devices both do not actually run our component properly. So to show you what actually happens, let's just do a yarn build here so we can get because I usually do testing on an offline version of the component, and this seems to be a problem. Let's run it again. Sometimes it just fails and needs to be. Yeah, that should be fine now. And then if we do yarn start and just add this in here, come back to this and let's run something. Yarn test project desktop Chrome, and let's just run one of the tests. So we need test general. Let's check. Yeah, okay, so this is just the general test that actually checks that the component exists and that the user can actually type into it. And this is actually where our problems begin. So if we run it in Google Chrome and in the debug mode, so we can actually see the browser, we'll get this and we'll run the first test. It expects the editor to be visible, and then it will run the second test where it will actually type. So it will try typing, it adds it, and as you can see everything looks as we expect it to, and then we do that and it actually passed the two tests. However, if we do the same and go here and type desktop WebKit and run this, first one should pass because we're just looking for the component, so it exists, that's fine. As you can see, it passed the first one. But if we come here and if we start typing, basically all hell breaks loose. As you can see, the text is completely flipped, which suggests to me that something is happening where the cursor is not being set properly, and it basically every time the user types something, the cursor actually goes to the beginning. So it goes before, it actually the cursor actually ends up before the letter that the user just typed instead of after that letter, and we need to basically figure out why this is happening. So yeah, as we can see now, if we tell it to expect this, it will say that expect failed, and then basically that the test actually failed. And it tells us that the expected string with hello from TweetTextarea, it got something else, which is basically the same string but completely flipped around. So this is where Playwright actually comes in really handy, because now, although I don't have any macOS or iOS devices, I can actually debug and look at the browser and run a WebKit browser as if I was using MacBook. Otherwise I would have had to find a MacBook that I can borrow, or maybe buy a new a MacBook, or rely on some of the services that exist. There's one called, I think, remember what's it called. Test, yeah, there's browser stack. So we can use something like this. But it's a paid service. There's a free trial, but the free trial is very limited. And don't get me wrong, it's a good idea to actually test on a proper iOS device or a macOS device, but Playwright at least gives us something that we can work with until we actually test on an actual device. So we are going to do this, and let's come back here. I just want to skip the first test and run only this one. So here's what I'll do. I'll just add user input here, and it should run only one test. Yes, that's correct. So here's what we're going to do. Instead of actually running the test, I'll just start typing and see what happens. And as you can see, so like what we expected basically from what we saw when the test ran the first time is actually true. The cursor ends up before the character that the user type. Even if we do that, like, here's the thing, it doesn't actually end before the character that the user type. It actually just goes back to the very beginning. So now we sort of know a little bit more. So there's something wrong happening, and we need to figure out what it is exactly. Again, the good thing here is basically we have access to the inspector, so we can just debug our code and look at. Let me just get this out of the way for now. I'm not going to use it that much. So if we look at the elements now, just need to make this a little bit bigger. Basically, this shows us the HTML, and if we do that, okay, so something happened here. Okay, so it added the paragraph properly. We placed the cursor manually here, so if I type the E, it will work properly. But as you can see, immediately the cursor just moves to the beginning, and that is just what keeps happening. And this is why none of it gets formatted. It's not working properly. Something is wrong. Or if we do that, so the formatting is running fine. If we end up typing something that can be formatted, it gets formatted, so we don't have a problem here. But we're still getting that issue where it always ends up at the beginning. So we know that something happens basically when we try to set the cursor. However, we're not sure exactly what happens. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try debugging this. So we have the listeners, this is the listeners file, and let's see what happens on before input. Let's actually just add a breakpoint here. And start typing. So we break, let's remove those, and we know that because basically we're just adding a new character, then we should basically be running this part of the code. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, so let's just first get the selection. We'll run all of that. Now we have the range. Let's actually now get the range.start container, which at the moment it's just the editor itself, which is fine. Then we check that. That doesn't apply, so it's not going to run. This is the one that should apply. So yeah, that works fine. We grab all of these things and then we run this. So we added it. As you can see, the start container didn't seem to change, and let's see what actually happens here. When I find that things are working with one browser but not working with others, what I always end up doing is trying to compare what is happening on both of them, to try and figure out what might be causing the issue. So we are going to open that one, do the same thing, add a breakpoint here, and then do that. And then let's start doing the same thing, just going through the code. And now since now we have the range defined, let's grab the start container. Again, it's the component itself is the start container, which is fine. We don't have a problem with that. This is not going to run. This is the one that is going to run. So let's go through it quickly. And as you can see here, basically the start container changed to the text node, which is what we expect to happen, because if we look at the function we're running, we actually in that function by setting the the cursor basically to the text node that basically contains the letter that the user just typed. So we expect that the start container would actually change, and that's what happens with Firefox. However, this is not what happens with the WebKit with Safari basically. So now we're sort of zeroing in on the problem. So we need to figure out, is there something with our code that is not working? Is the container not being set, or is it being reset after we set it? We're not 100% sure, so we need to run the code again. So we'll continue the execution, and let's just bring up the browser again and remove that one, or deactivate it for now, and then let's reactivate it again and just do the same thing. We have it's not defined yet. That makes sense, that's fine. Start running, range is defined. Okay, that's what we expected. However, if we go in here and we go to this one and start running this, let's actually this time step into the function. We know that we set our range here, so we need to make sure that that actually works. So again, we grab the range, it's defined, and it's still doing the same thing. That's fine, that's what we expect. This branch of the code is not going to run. This is the one that is going to run. So if we do this, okay, so it seems that it actually gets set properly. However, if we do this and go back here, it basically is still the same thing. It seems that it was reset, or maybe because we're not passing the range here, maybe that is why. So let's actually try this one and see, would it make a difference if we just if in this one we disable this and we pass the range, let's go to the listeners. So we need the range here, so we'll pass it, and let's see what happens when we save. So we're rebuilding the component now. Let's try this one again and see what happens. We do this. Okay, doesn't make a difference. It basically the same thing happens. So it's not an issue of us not passing the range as a parameter. So we know that we don't really need this. The problem is something else. So this is how I usually go about debugging these sort of things, and this is what I did when I tried to figure this one offline. As I said, I usually try to sort of plan ahead and work on some of these problems offline, so at least I have an idea what I am, at least a rough idea what I am going to do basically on the stream. So however, when I was working on the offline, to be honest, I was stumped. Like, I didn't know what was causing the issue, and I wasn't sure how to fix it. So this is basically when I start relying on searching. So let's see, Stack Overflow, because I found the answer on Stack Overflow. So nope. Okay, I think it might have been this one. Yeah. So after searching for a while, I found this question where some person was trying to do something with range.setStart and .setEnd on a div element, and everything was working fine on all of the other browsers, the Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. However, Safari wasn't working properly, and although there's no accepted answer, there's only one answer really. This person suggests to remove all ranges and then do the range set start and set end, or range.set start and collapse, if that's which is what I'm doing, and then you do the add range. So basically I just thought, okay, might as well test it. The problem seems to be roughly similar to what I was having. The only difference is that this is an uneditable div, so I wasn't sure if it actually applies, but at this point I was just trying any potential solution. So let's just try that one. We will So we go here, we do this. I think we already have the selection. Yes, we do. So in this case, selection.remove all ranges, and then selection.add range, and just add this one, and let's rebuild. Okay. So let's now try running the test again. let's actually run the test. Okay, doesn't seem to be doing anything. However, there is a small difference, which is this. This time, actually, the E ended up in the right place. Usually, the E would end up before the capital H. So why did it work here but it didn't work on the other ones? Because we only updated the code here, basically, which we only use this function when the user types something into a completely empty editor. So okay, maybe it looks like this actually is working. We just need to basically apply it to everything in our code. So what I'll do basically is I will actually isolate this into a function, and then just change any code we have to the range.setStart, where we're actually setting the cursor position, to use the new function. So let's remove this and let's see where we actually going to do this one. Okay, so yeah, maybe we can do this one here. Set cursor position, node, we're going to use node, and offset just number, and it returns void const selection equal document.get selection, and then again, if no selection, just return this const range equal selection get range at 0, if not range, and return. And then we'll just basically do this selection dot remove all ranges, then range dot set start node offset range dot collapse true, and then selection dot add range range. Then we'll go here to this one, and let's see, okay, set cursor position to text node and 1, and we can remove this, and then set cursor position to paragraph 2 and 0, and then we can remove this one and save. Okay, that's done. Let's actually run the test again, and this time, instead of running the whole thing, let's just type. Okay, so again, the function where we actually ran the code, used the new code, seems to be doing what we expect it to do. So we now basically just need to start replacing all of these range.set and set start instance that we had with our new code. So let's just do this. This is not one where we're actually setting the final cursor position, so this is not going to be replaced. This one, because what seems to happen is once the function finishes running, the range sort of goes back. We're not going to do this one. I think we should be fine. We should just need to change this one. So let's actually try set position to text node, and then text node dot text content dot length or 0, and then we remove this one. So let's see. Yeah, we'll need to do the same here. So okay, so maybe let start node, which is going to be of type node equal child, and then we'll do if child dot node type is not a text node, if child dot first child, then start node is going to equal child dot first child, and then we can basically remove this. Actually, let me, before I do set cursor position, and then we'll set it to start node and offset, and then we can actually just remove this. So let's see, this one should be fine. We're not going to change this, but we'll need to change this. So let start node, which is type node, equal span, and then if final node, then start node equal final node, and then we are going to do set cursor position to start node 0, and then we no longer need this and this. We also don't need this. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. This is this one actually, yeah. So let's see. Okay, same thing here. We need to do set cursor position to text node and the offset to text node text content dot length or 0, and then just remove this. And yeah, this is the one we checked. This one is fine. We're not gonna need to change this, I'm assuming. So we just need to change this one. Set cursor position to text node 1. And we can remove this. And then we go here. Okay, this is the function itself. Which one is this? Get start. I am not sure if we need to change this, so to be safe I'll just change it. And this as well. And where's this one? Oh, okay, this is the one in the function itself. So as far as I can tell, we should be fine now. So if I run this, seem to be getting a bit somewhere out there. Range is declared. Partner value. Okay. We're not using the range. Okay. I think that should be fine. Let's see the position. So we shouldn't need this now, I'm assuming. Let's save and rebuild. Okay, everything seems to be fine. We are not getting any more errors. And now let's run this test one more time. And okay, so this test actually ended up passing. So what we need to do now is we need to run all the tests that we have on Safari browser as well. So project desktop WebKit, will take a little bit of time, but let's just see how it goes. Okay, seems to be like one test that is actually failing. So we'll look into it. Okay, it's mostly going fine. Okay, so we only have one test that is failing, and I'm not sure why. There's no... Okay. Okay, that's strange. Let's check that file. Hashtag. Yeah, this is the one, and it's here. Okay. Strange. Okay, let's run this one. Yarn test. I'll run it in debug mode as well. And G. Result matches the hashtag pattern. Should be fine. And source tests hashtag formatting match. Okay, it's running the correct test, I'm assuming. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the test passed, so I am assuming it's just a case of maybe increasing the delay on this one a little bit. Sometimes the delays can... So let's test index hashtag formatting match. Let's run this one more time. Okay, so, and we'll run the test one more time, just all of the tests, just to make sure everything is running smoothly, no issues with it. We'll then, while this one runs, we'll run it also on one of the iPhone. Yeah, maybe we can run it on the iPhone 6 WebKit, just to make sure that it's also working on at least one iPhone. Like, I am not going to run all the tests on the stream, because we have a lot of projects that we're testing for, just to be on the safe side. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense to run all of them, because they would take ages to finish. What we'll do is, once we run the mobile version, we will actually run them on the Firefox and Chrome as well, just to make sure everything is still working. And we still have our breakpoint here, so let's just do this. Remove all of these breakpoints, and let's start again. Hello from 100 days of code. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we will have any issues with it. It should be fine, but just to be safe, we'll run the tests on Chrome and Firefox as well, just to ensure that they're all working properly. But yeah, once we are done running this, okay, yeah, looks good. All of our tests have passed on the desktop version, so let's run it on one of the iPhone projects we have. And wait for it to finish, and then do the same for Google Chrome and Firefox. Again, everything seems to be working as it should, so that's good. Okay, yeah. All the tests have passed as well on the iPhone 6. So finally, not finally, I'm going to run it on both Chrome and Firefox, just to be safe. Actually, could do it this way. So we run it on both of them at the same time. No need to actually run each one separately. I think for some reason the tests seem to run faster on Google Chrome and Firefox than they do on the WebKit version that is provided with Playwright. I'm not sure if this is something to do with the WebKit browser itself or with the Playwright. Not 100% sure, to be honest. So okay, and as you see, everything ran. All of our tests have passed. So yeah, everything should be working fine. I thought I might do something a bit interesting. I'll actually test the component on my mobile phone. So I have opened the 3000 port on my local network. It's just something that came to my mind quickly now. So I don't have like a proper setup, but I'll show you actually if it runs properly or not. Okay, yeah, it's working really well. Let me, not sure if you can see it on the stream or not. It's yeah. No, I don't think it's actually visible enough on the stream, but yeah, basically it just works fine as we expect it to, which is good. Like we've tested at least on one real mobile device, because I still think that it's good to try and test on real devices as much as possible, just to make sure that everything is working. As much as I like Playwright and what it offers, it's not a bad idea to also test on real devices. So I think that's it for the figuring out how to get the component working on Mac or on the Apple devices. I'm trying to think if there's something else I want to do before I move on to another thing. Can't think of anything really. I'll just take like a couple of minutes break. I need to get a drink. Yeah, when I come back, we'll move on to something different. Unless I can think of something else that I need to do before I move on. So yeah, see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, I'm back. Let me just comment the changes we've made so far. So it should be fine. Yeah, great. Okay, so we get back to here. The next thing I want to do is if we just do something quickly. If we go here and open the test app that we have and VS Codium and we go to app, one thing that I don't really like, I would like to be able, the users to be able to do, is to actually pass some attributes to the component. Basically, I would like them to be able to pass any attributes that can be passed to the dev element, so they can make any changes to the dev and work with it however they like, except for a couple of except basically for some of the attributes we're actually using here. So I want them to be able to pass a class name if they want to, so they can actually change the styling for the dev, because basically at the moment the styling we're applying is just something simple that we're just using it to give sort of the component some, like, just something so that can actually the users who don't add a style to it don't actually miss that the component exists and it's added. So that's what we need to do. First, I just need to change a small thing here. I always want the paragraph elements that are added to have no margin or padding. However, since we're going to give the users the ability to pass a class name, this rule is not going to work if they pass a class name. So I need to change it to this. And then, yeah, we'll come back here. So the way we would pass that is basically the way we would give the user the ability to actually add attributes is we would just use props. But since we're using TypeScript, we need to actually give them a type. So I will declare a type here and call it TweetTextarea props, we don't need to export it or do anything because we're not going to use it anywhere else. We're only going to be using it in this file, so this is why I'm also declaring it in this file instead of the types types file that we have here. There's no point really, because we don't need it anywhere else. We only need it here. So to actually get the normal attributes for the dev, all we need to do is do react.html attributes and then HTML div element. The way I know that is basically if in VS Code, if I just hover over here, I can actually see that the class name is basically just react.html attributes to dev.class name, which is of type string or undefined in this case. So that's basically if we want the users to be able to pass all of the attributes, then we're going to do this. So we'll have props, and then we declare of type TweetTextarea props, and then if we come here and do something like this, just props dot, and if we type class name, it exists, content editable exists, on before input exists. So we have basically all the attributes that we expect would exist on the dev. However, as I said, there are a couple of ones that I don't want to pass basically, which are these four: the ref, on before input, and on input, and content editable, because basically these are the ones that are essential for the for how the component works basically. So I need to find a way to basically make this type accept all the attributes that exist here except the ones that I want to remove. And the way we do that is using the omit generic type. It's a utility type basically that already exists in TypeScript since version 3.5, and if we go here and do tsc version, we're basically on version 4.5, so we should be fine to use it. The way we actually do use it is we type omit, add the type, and then it takes key, which is a string as you can see here, string literal or union of string literals. So if we want to just remove one attribute, then we'll pass it like that. If we want to remove multiple ones, then we'll pass it like that. So if we come here and do this omit and start adding ref on before input, and then on input, and then content editable, and scroll down here and then do this props dot on before. As you can see, before input no longer exists. There's something else called before input capture. We're not using that. We're only using on before input. If we try on input again, it doesn't exist. Only on input capture exists. If if we come here and do content editable, it doesn't exist as well. Ref again doesn't exist, so we should be fine in this case. So what we're going to do is basically just destructure, not destructure, what's it called? I always forget what this one's called. Let me bring up quickly. Yeah, it's the spread operator basically. Destructuring is different. Yeah, I just tend to forget that this one is called the spread operator. So yeah, basically what we're doing here is we're passing all of the props that the user passes here in basically, if the user adds or any attributes here, they would basically be passed to the to the dev as attributes. With the class name, we're going to do this. So we're going to do props.class name or TweetTextarea. So if the user passes a class name, this is the one that we're going to be used. If not, then we'll use the TweetTextarea one that we already have. And if we save now, this is done building now. So if we go here, everything should look the same. Nothing changed. However, if we go to the app and in the CSS add so let's do solid 1px red, for instance, and then just do this class name equal text area. If we save that now, class name does not exist. What? Doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's weird. Props class name. Let me try something. That doesn't really make any sense. Okay, let's see. Because we're getting everything as we expect it to, so why is it not? Class name exists. strange. Okay. Let me maybe we need to start it again. Actually, let's maybe this last name equal text area. Do this and start it one more time. Interesting. So why is it not passing? This case of that doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's see in the debugger what's happening here. Node modules, TweetTextarea, source and TweetTextarea. Okay, it doesn't seem to be picking up the... Okay. Seeing any issues here really. Package. Okay, let's stop that and maybe try building it again. Just okay. Let's go to this and quickly open the package. So it has everything. So that should really be working. So, oh wait. What am I wanting? Okay. Yeah, this failed, so we'll just build it again here. Let's see what is happening. Okay. Can node modules, TweetTextarea, source. Okay, seems to be passing the correct thing here, so let's see what is happening. Oh, okay. Thank you for the follow, Dal the Coder. Really appreciate it. Okay, so for some reason we are getting the same issue that used to happen before. where it wasn't actually reloading our sources. I'm not sure why it's doing that again now, because it hasn't done that in some time now, so doesn't make much sense really. Let me actually look at the these are the patterns. Oh boy. So yeah, it's doing everything properly here as well. It should be working. I'm not sure why. Okay, I think this may be a case of just needing to do this. Let's actually do yarn clean manually. Make sure that we remove everything. Cat package.json doesn't have the TweetTextarea React dependency, which is good, makes sense. And if I do yarn start now, I should get an error. Great, okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so if I do yarn build now, cat package.json, yeah, it's picking up the correct thing, so I'm not sure why is it not working. Let's test it again. Yep, here we go. It was just acting crazy. I'm not sure why. I think sometimes changing the CSS maybe just, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But yeah, as you can see, the paragraphs still work, like the no margin gets added or padding or anything. But now the user is actually able to pass a class name to style the div differently. In fact, they're able to basically pass anything that can be passed to a div element. So yeah, it's just that the class name specifically, we're handling it in a bit of a different way. So if the user passes a class name, then the styling basically the user defined styles will apply. If not, then we'll just get the default style. So if we remove this and save, as you can see, it automatically resets the style to the default one. Let's add this again. As you can see, it automatically changes. If for some reason some user tries to pass this, we'll get a warning that that it doesn't, basically property content editable does not exist. I think that in this specific case it's not building because because this is TypeScript. So the compiler is actually stopping the build because of the errors that exist. But I think with some if the user changes the compiler settings or something like that, in some cases it actually might allow the user to pass this. So to be safe, I actually need to check what will happen if the user actually passes it. So we'll delete that for now. We don't actually need this. What I'll do is I will create another test app quickly that uses JavaScript rather than TypeScript, and we'll see what actually happens. So yeah, let's close this one quickly. Close this, we don't need it, and let's come here and yarn create react app test app 2. But without TypeScript. Let's see what happens. Come on. Okay. Yeah, we're done. So let's get in here, test app 2, and then yarn add TweetTextarea component package. Okay, package.json, that's correct. And then let's actually run it here first. Do this, and let's get app.js, and let's delete that, and then import TweetTextarea from TweetTextarea React, and then let's just do TweetTextarea. If we do yarn start, great. Okay, everything seems to be working. That's good. Let's remove this one, and let's pass class name equal text area, and then CSS. Border solid MPX red. Okay, that's fine. What will happen then if we do this? Content editable. Okay. As you can see, in this case, we're not getting any warning because this is JavaScript, it's not TypeScript. So what I need to do, I need to know basically what would happen if the user actually tries to disable okay, which, yeah, that is correct. I expected that. Let's just because this is a bit annoying, to be honest. Let's remove these styles. As you can see, basically the content editable attribute still applies even though the user tried to actually pass it here. So technically we don't really need to make sure that the type doesn't have these ones, but I think it makes more sense to do it that way, because at least in some cases the user might actually get a warning that what you're doing is not, like, you're not supposed to do that. Again, because this is JavaScript, like in this case, it will let you do whatever you want, and basically it will generate runtime errors if basically something happens. So if you do something that you're not supposed to do, when you run the app in the browser, you'll get some errors. But why is it working in this case? Because what we're doing here is we are spreading the props, but then we are actually changing, like adding the attributes again. If we change the order in this case, and let me first start by yarn remove TweetTextarea React. Yeah, that's fine. Now if we save, I think if we change the order in this case, it will actually apply the user version. Again, we're getting errors. I'm not sure why we're getting errors in this case. Okay, seems to be working now. And let's do yarn TweetTextarea React again. And let's go here, close that one, and let's do yarn start. I am expecting, oh, it's still actually, so is that because we're getting the same weird issue where the code is, yeah, it seems that the code is not updating again. Okay. Let's see what I actually tend to do in this case with deleting everything. maybe I need to actually. Okay, let's come here, then do yarn clean. Okay, that's fine. Yarn remove. And then yarn belt. Why are you not working? Okay. Tweet. You bend one more time. Let's see if it works this time. Okay. Cat package source TweetTextarea. Okay. And let's do the same thing again here and see what happens. Cat dudes. Yeah. Okay, so let's do yarn start and hope that it works this time. I don't think it's working. Yeah, it's still doing this annoying thing. I'm not really sure why is it not working properly in this case. Okay, I'm not going to waste much time. I'll just basically, because I think this is not supposed to work as far as I understand, then I will just keep things safe and okay, so give me 1 second. So yeah, for now I'll just delete this. I'm not gonna bother with it. I'll just keep this as it is. This should be working properly. And then yeah, we'll do this. Get here and just checking. Okay, yeah, everything seems to be fine. So yeah, for now, as we said, like, we should be safe even if the user decides to pass a prop, that like an attribute that they shouldn't be passing. I think we should be safe. The last thing we need to do, and we're not going to actually do all of it today, is basically we need to give the user the ability to actually pass a class name that defines how the highlighting looks. So like with the TweetTextarea itself, we have default styles. We also have default styles for the highlight. However, we need to basically give the user the ability to actually pass their own highlighting style, basically. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to just define highlight style, which basically is going to be an interface that contains highlight class name, which is going to be optional, and it is going to be a string. With interface we don't use equal, and then we'll basically just add it here basically to that. So let me just remember what actually the AND operator in this case is called. For some reason okay, get handbook, type manipulation, no, I think it's called an intersection type basically. So we're basically creating an intersection type that uses the attributes without these ones, but also includes the highlight class name. So that's what we're going to do, and in this case we should props.highlight. We need to make it highlight. As you can see, it has an option, an optional attribute called highlight class name. In this case, the user would actually be able to define a class that includes the highlighting style, so they can actually change the default. However, as I said, we're not going to actually apply that today. I might even not apply in the next stream, because I think for the next stream what I would like to do is actually publish the component on npm as basically version 1, since now everything's working, so people can actually start using it, and then maybe we can implement this using this highlight class name attribute as sort of like version 1.1 or something, and then that would be it. But to actually publish this on npm. There are a lot of things that I need to do, which I'll just do off stream because it doesn't make sense to do them on stream. Like I need to prepare a readme file and licensing and all of these, like a license file and all, basically add some instructions for the users how to use the component and how to actually just get it working for them, for the apps. And if someone wants to actually contribute to it, it will also include some information on how to like what to do with the code and like explaining where everything is and things like that. So I think this is what we'll be doing in the next stream. But yeah, I'll have a think about it, and we'll see basically what I would like to do. I might end up just implementing this before I publish it to npm, but yeah, we'll decide that later. That would be it for me for today. I think we've really achieved a lot in this stream, and yeah, basically we have the component ready for people to actually use it. So I hope I'll see you again in the next stream, and yeah, have a good night, and yeah, thank you, bye bye.